I'm just.
I hate puppies. It's been a week.
Full week.
Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should be drinking this week, next week, whenever it is you get around to drinking beers. In Troy's case, maybe never drink it.
Maybe never.
We'll see.
James came all the way back.
James is back.
I know.
I guess I didn't say anything too stupid.
There you go. Invited back.
I'm just looking for all the cologne.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
It's hidden throughout the space.
For those that don't know, James represents Social 52 and Chard here in Richmond. If you get a chance to come into town, you should absolutely check them out. Apparently, word on the street is they have the best old fashioned in town.
I'll put that bet down.
I'm willing to. This is the kind of bet where I can't lose.
Correct. Because I'm going to buy it for you if you tell me it sucks. But you look like an honest guy. So.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I have a funny feeling I'm gonna love it. The fact that I like old fashions. I don't think I've come across one where I'm like, that was really bad. You know?
I mean, I would assume most people that make an old fashioned make it with quality product. Like, it's not a well drink kind of drink.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to sell an old fashioned to somebody that drinks vodka.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, if you're not a bourbon drinker, if you don't know what an old fashioned is, if you don't drink old fashions, like it might not be the drink.
But
for
I
you.
think it's a good entry drink for like. Let's say you drink bourbon, but most bourbon people are fucking asshole snobs, and they're like,
they've really become that way.
Don't put any water in it. Don't fucking look at it twice. Don't. It's like you can mix a good drink with good bourbon, and it's fucking delicious.
No, from the bar side of things, because that's where I come from. I'm 21 years old. I started bartending. Drink what you like. Drink it how you like it. Don't worry about anybody else. What they
couldn't
think,
agree more.
Could not agree more.
There's some bourbons I drink neat. There's some bourbons I cut with water. There's some bourbons I cut with a King Cube, and I don't touch it until the King Cube is melted.
Exactly.
You
yeah.
know? But it's 110 proof and smoky and hot as hell.
Yep.
Do you? Obviously, you put cherries in your old fashioned. Do you have a particular cherry?
Old fashions are orange peels.
But so a lot of people,
cherries.
a lot of people put a cherry in an old fashioned.
I mean, you can, but the proper way is a orange peel, and then we're considering starting to smoke them, if you so desire.
Yeah,
that's popular.
That's a whole other thing, and I've seen it done with like vape, where it's like a fake smoke. I've seen that.
I have not seen that one.
I've seen that. I've seen the ones where you actually have it. Looks like a really high tech bowl, like in the top, and you blow it, and it pulls and it fires like the smoke into the glass. And then I saw one the other day that was new to me. They put the chips in a little cast iron skillet. They lit them, got them smoky, and then they put the glass over it on the cast iron skillet, brought the glass out upside down on the cast iron skillet, and then they pulled the glass off and then poured the old fashioned that had already been mixed in another glass into that glass. And so the glass is what had the smokiness like on the actual glass itself. The presentation of that coming over on the little cast iron skillet and then opening it up and having all the smoke come out, it was really cool. And I was like, yeah, but there's not going to be enough smoke in it. Turns out the smoke in the glass, it really did cling to it. It was pretty awesome. I guess they must have like wet the glass.
Yeah, I mean, presentation. Yeah, presentation's a lot of it. You can smoke them in a box, which holds it. There's a lot of different ways to do it. The number one bartender I've ever had in my life is this guy named Drew down in Atlanta. I was a season ticket holder to the Falcons for.
That's right.
10
years. We didn't talk about that. You go. You used to fly to all the home games.
I used to fly to every home game.
Isn't that
Richmond.
wild?
That's awesome, though. So, that's dedication.
Well, it's good, right? Because out of Richmond, you can fly direct to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, because I'm a Delta person. So
damn right.
Yeah, and so I would fly down, and so. Literally, I stayed at the Intercontinental in Buckhead.
How nice is that hotel?
Well, it was nice. It's no longer an Intercontinental. They lost their license. But they had a bar called the Bourbon Bar.
I'm familiar with it.
So Drew worked at the Bourbon Bar, and the first time I stayed there wasn't.
I've had an old fashioned at the Bourbon Bar.
Okay, so it wasn't the first time I went to Atlanta, but the first time I stayed at that hotel because they had got a decent deal. Drew was my bartender. I stayed at that hotel every single time
because
I went
of
to
Drew.
Atlanta because of Drew.
That good.
Like he is that good.
Tell us, before we get deep in that, tell us what that whole thing is like. Like, to me, that's so wild to just get on a plane to go to a game, and so you.
Well, I'm single, no dependent. So
I know, but
that was a big part.
I know, but still,
Cash.
it's still a lot of work, right? Like you fly out that day, or
Well, so I did a day trip once, and I did it with my buddy Robert, and we flew out at 6:30 in the morning, and we flew back at 11:30 at night. Because it was a 1 o'clock game in
because
flight schedule.
They have that like 10:30 flight or something. Out of Atlanta.
And so it was just like, but that was the most brutal day of like any football thing I've ever done.
But normally you would fly out morning of and then stay the night?
No, normally I'd fly out Friday.
Okay.
And
you make a whole week of it.
Yeah, I'd make a whole weekend of it because from Atlanta you could get a $50 bus pass. So that's why I'm a UGA fan. I never went to college, so I don't have any loyalties anywhere. But I would take a bus to UGA, watch the UGA game, and then bus back. And so that was my Saturday. And then Sunday was Falcons.
By yourself?
I mean, I would normally have friends come with me because I didn't charge for the tickets.
Yeah.
If you can get to Atlanta, or
I've got tickets.
yeah, I became friends with a bunch of people in Atlanta.
Of course, yeah.
The people at the hotel. I mean, they treated me like royalty.
Yeah, you go to a college or you have season tickets, like you end up meeting all the people around you and tailgate. And you can go tailgate with them. Everybody's generous at all these games if you get to know the right people.
And so, like, even the hotel people, like, I'm still friends with all of them that I met, like Drew, Mike. Mike lives in Arizona now. So when I go to these places because I travel for my day job, I catch up with all of them.
So you would work on Friday and you would take a evening flight to
About
Atlanta.
6 o'clock flight, and I'd fly down, stay the weekend. And fly back either Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on what time.
And go straight to work on Monday morning.
Yeah,
because they got flights.
What,
in
eight?
out of
And that's
Atlanta.
eight times a year.
yeah, yep.
Wow!
I mean, the year they went to the Super Bowl, I watched them play live 13 times.
Holy cow!
Do you still have season tickets?
No, when they built the new stadium, they did the PSLs.
Yeah.
So like when I went down there, I emailed.
That's what is that again?
Personal seat license.
That's right.
So you have to pay for the right to buy tickets.
Yeah.
So I emailed them and I was like, I'm not buying. I was 8th row 50-yard line at the old stadium.
Oh,
so I
that's
was like,
perfect.
I was like, I am not buying in the 5th row or above. Okay, these seats were $90,000 a piece. Like
What?
it was
The new ones?
the new ones.
Shit.
That was
Oh,
the PSL.
wow.
Like they were ridiculous.
That's just to get to buy the
I'm
tickets.
sorry, no, they weren't 90. They were $45,000 a piece.
But
So
you
it was
had
90
two
total.
seats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had 2 seats.
But then you still have to buy the season tickets.
Then I still have to buy the season.
And how much are season tickets?
At the time, they were like 300 and something. Because what all the
Per
teams were
ticket?
realizing is that per ticket. But I mean, I had free everything. I mean, it was when I say free everything, free booze, free food, and I'm talking like 5-star kind of food.
Nice.
The stadium is really neat. There's a suite on the field level that you could walk out onto the field and be 10 feet behind the bench.
So you still go to games? You just no
Yes,
longer.
I've been to games. I've just
Yeah.
well. So what happened was, and I'm in construction, so it's really frustrating that this happened. So they sold me 4th row seats. Then someone didn't buy their 2nd row seats, so they upgraded me to the 2nd row. So then 6 months before the stadium opens, the Falcons email me and they say, "Hey, we've made a mistake. We're moving you to the 5th row." The row I emailed and said I am not buying in the 5th row or above.
Yeah, you already had 4th.
What they forgot to do is ADA law
Oh,
says
first-
you have to
first
have a
row or two.
Well, no, you just have to have a certain percentage of seats of every price point that are ADA compliant. So I bought on the visitor side for the times when I couldn't go. They were easier to sell.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay, so they put the ADA, and I mean, I'm not mad that they put the ADA up front, but they moved the first 3 rows to make an ADA section and push
Which I
everyone
get.
back.
Yeah.
But then they chose the visitor side. Why didn't you choose the home side? Right?
For the money, I guess.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So, but then I was just like, I'm not, because what I did is I did a price analysis because there was one section at that price point.
This dude's a businessman.
Yeah, he is.
He did
knows
a
his
price
numbers.
analysis.
Well, but that's the thing is, so like I got Super Bowl tickets. I was guaranteed Super Bowl tickets. I was guaranteed tickets to every event at that stadium.
Guaranteed the right to buy them.
Yes, guaranteed.
you had the PSL.
But at price.
Yeah.
Super Bowl tickets are
Oh,
only
yeah, 'cause they're like
$1,500.
Yeah, you turn around and sell
Lower
them.
level.
Yeah.
$1,500, right? So you turn around and sell them, right? So the 2 sections over, I'm competing with whatever rows are lower than me because they're like half the price. And so on any given time, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm now competing against 4 rows instead of 1 row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I emailed them. I was like, you're going to give me my money back. They tried to argue with me, and I literally just copy and paste, or I attached the original email, and I said, if you really want to go down this path, we can.
Yeah.
Because you already said yes.
But did it kill you to have to give? I mean, obviously you like the Falcons and the whole point of going, like you like going to Atlanta in the games.
Me and my dad were front row at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
you had to watch that.
That was
That's heartbreaking.
I've lived a pretty good life to be able to say that was the worst night of my life.
Yeah.
Like
that is a really good life if that's the worst night of your life. Knock on some wood.
Yeah.
Man. Jeez.
So and so like the funny thing was my dad screwed me. So me and my dad went. When we went down, he told my mom right before we left. He's like, if they lose, I hope they lose at the last second.
Why would he even put that out there?
He's a horrible person.
He should have bet on that.
He's a horrible
Yeah.
person.
So, and the fact is, like, it's a totally way down the level, but I had season tickets for UVA for a long time. The fact is, if you stop going to all of them, you're better just bucking up the money and going the few times, and you're still spending the same amount, but maybe you're getting better seats, or, like, if you're not going to go to 100% of the games or 90% of the games, why have season tickets? I mean, a lot of people flex nuts on that shit. I'm not wasteful, so I'd rather, just go. I'd rather scalp 3 games and just have a blast.
Yeah, as long as you're still going to a few games a year.
Yeah, I mean, I go when I want to go, and but now I go to different cities or do that kind of stuff. So
I'm gonna have to join you on one of them journeys.
That'd be fun.
If the Bears play the Falcons there, call me first. I'll go.
Just let me go.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
That would be a good time, especially like going to Atlanta. You just jump on a plane. Like there's no connecting flights.
It's an hour and a half.
It's not a long flight. Like it's literally a road trip almost, except in a plane instead of driving in your car for an hour and a half.
And I mean, if you book the hotel rooms early enough, they're super cheap. And then you take the MARTA. Like if you're in Buckhead, you take it's $2 to take the MARTA from the airport to, so I learned a lot to get around Atlanta and do it cheap. Like I wasn't balling out.
Yeah.
Any stretch of the imagination.
Outside of the tickets.
Well, no, even back then it was the Dome. They were $150 a piece.
Yeah, but you're buying
50-yard line.
You're buying 2 tickets and times 8 or whatever. So I mean, a few grand probably.
Yeah, but a few grand to watch an NFL team 8 times a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend that just to watch the Bears here.
Yeah. What have you gone to other stadiums to watch them play? And
oh yeah, like the year they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, I didn't realize they were going to be that good, but I was out in Denver for work, so I went and saw them there. I was in Tampa for work, went and saw them there.
So you're still a diehard Falcons fan?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
What stadiums do you like?
I mean, the Falcons Stadium is pretty amazing. Denver's actually really cool. I'm not a cold weather person. I got lucky by liking the Falcons as a teenager.
Yeah,
because they're in a dome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Denver was really good.
They played in the Georgia Dome, right?
Well, they did.
Now they're in the
stadium.
The Mercedes one.
Yeah.
While we're talking football, I just got a text from the Duke that his son picked off a ball tonight in the high school football game.
Nice.
That set up the winning score in overtime.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited. So I'm
That
sending a shout out to the Duke's kid.
That's awesome.
Tampa Bay
fucking
Stadium is
great.
actually really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not a fan of New Orleans.
Yeah.
That might be more personal than anything.
Because
Superdome.
Yeah.
The good news is though that you don't have to smell New Orleans.
This is very true.
So that's good. But you still get to see the people pissing in the street.
Well, I mean, I bartended Mardi Gras one year. I will never go back to Mardi Gras. You couldn't
We talked about amateur hour. That is amateur,
yes.
especially Bourbon Street.
Oh
like
my
that's
gosh. It was
god awful.
It was the worst thing ever.
because I tell people I've been to Mardi Gras twice and done the amateur hour down there, and I've done the family friendly parades and all the stuff on the outskirts of town, and that's a blast. You can have fun doing that without even. I didn't even set foot on Bourbon Street. Like everybody thinks Mardi Gras is only Bourbon Street. There's parades. There's a whole lot of shit going on for like over 2 weeks, and it's a ton of cool stuff. And you can have fun, and it can be family friendly. But you set foot on Bourbon Street, you're wilding out.
Yeah, see, and I'm jaded though, because like I don't even understand what it is to be a regular bar customer on the bar.
Yes.
I'm always looking at it from the industry point of view of being the bartender or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money to go to Mardi Gras and be on the bar on the.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't even like
the
being
shifts
on
I was
Bourbon
working
Street.
were 10-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And then we'd go back and just crash because it was 10 hours of just slinging drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Well, you probably have trouble eating in restaurants and.
I don't have trouble, but it's I look at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And also from construction. My other.
I was going to say.
So like I'm looking at it,
yeah.
I'm tearing these places apart in my head.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I think
I don't hold it against.
I don't weird out over stuff like that, but like people they read a review of a restaurant. So I'm like, let me tell you something. You don't want to go in the back of almost any restaurant out there because you would be quite surprised what most restaurants look like.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, 100%. And like I'm always asking my vendors. One of the things that we actually pride ourselves on, and it started with social and the fan is we used to joke that we have the cleanest bathrooms in the city. Like that's actually
a
thing
huge
for
draw.
women.
Yeah,
That's actually a huge selling point.
Women late night, if the bathrooms, because there's nothing dirtier than a women's restroom in a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny that you say that because
And they'll bounce out. They'll take the whole crew. They're like, we out.
Yep.
But people don't realize that women's restrooms are nastier than men's rooms.
100%.
You assume that the men's room is going to be the grosser thing.
Without question, 100%.
It's always the case. Like I'll walk in a place and like my wife will come out and be like, "That was foul. That was foul." And I'm like, "Really?" Because it was fine in there. It wasn't that bad.
When I worked at BCU and I was walking through dorms, I can safely say that the girls' dorms were worse. They weren't better. They definitely weren't better than the boys, and most of the times they were worse. And by worse, I mean twice as bad. Like can't literally step on the carpet or floor anywhere. Like
it's
just
foul.
a disaster. And the smells. I mean, just crazy.
James doesn't have to deal with that.
He doesn't have to deal with that.
I'm good with that part.
Thank goodness. Because apparently it smells pretty bad. But speaking of smelling pretty bad, and the logistics behind this, I'm pretty psyched. This is the last episode before I go back to my first music festival in who knows how long. Like it's probably been 4 or 5 years.
Has it been that long?
I would think so.
Was the one in Delaware the last one you went to?
Yeah, the last Firefly I went to was probably like a year or 2 years before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's been
So 19 or 18?
Yeah, right in there.
So
Somewhere
3
right
to
in
4
there.
years probably?
So it's been a while, man. I love a music festival. Like
You do.
that's my shit.
It's your jam.
And I'm going to the Bourbon and Beyond Festival. So
What's that? Where's that?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, makes sense. Bourbon.
I get to carry my ass for a 9.5 hour road trip.
Are you glamping?
Oh, I'm better than glamping. This festival, the way they've got it set up, it's so strange. Like the entrance, it's at the convention center, and the convention center has the fairgrounds. So it's like this massive.
So you got space.
You got a ton of space, but anytime there's a convention center, you get hotels.
Yes.
And so the way they have this, there's a whole row of hotels, and behind the hotels is where the camping is. And so all these hotels kind of line up. Well, there's one hotel that's like directly across from the entrance. And I got that hotel, like directly. So there is not a closer place to lay your head than a freaking hotel.
Do you travel a lot
I do.
for work or?
Yeah. for
Okay,
work.
yeah. And I think that's one of the things about traveling that a lot of people don't appreciate is the hotel selection. Not necessarily the nicest hotel, but location, ease of entry and exit.
Absolutely.
Because I take 200 flights a year for my day job, and I mean, hotel is almost as important as like a seat on a plane.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, it's damn important. Like if you're not in the right place, you don't have food around you, you don't have things to go to, like you're screwed.
You end up 45 minutes away from your destination, a meeting, and then you have to get up an hour earlier. Like it's a big deal.
I stayed the other day. I was in Pittsburgh, and I chose a hotel that was like kind of a not so great area. I was like, yeah, but it was a half-mile walk to all my meetings. So like, why would I not stay in that hotel? And it turned out that up and coming shady area was fantastic.
Yeah.
Best tacos and stuff. Like I was finding all the good stuff, but like I never had to get in an Uber, never had to do it. Like once I stopped, I walked for 2 days.
Yeah. My big thing right now is like the club lounges. Because
Oh, yeah.
half of them are open, half of them are closed.
Yeah.
So I'm checking if the club lounge is open because, again, as a constant traveler, it's just give me something easy. Let me walk in, grab a bite to eat, and then get to my room.
Because basically all I care about, there needs to be a gym in there because I need to work out and I need to be able to walk around to good food. But like, I don't want to go because I don't like drink when I'm on the road. Really, it's like I don't see any advantage to getting fucked up and then trying to go to a meeting. Like,
you're not in construction then.
No, this is fair. I have to be the one who's gonna like be sharp and pitch and like be in front of everybody. So like, I got to be sharp.
I'm the guy that all the contractors are like, oh, James is in town. It's Paul Pass night tonight because we have to treat our client.
Oh, so they're like whining and dining.
It gets rough.
Now at this festival, I will be very drunk. That is actually the point.
Yeah.
So, but I walk out, and it's right there. Like I got the first hotel, so everyone else has to walk past all the hotels, and they got to walk around them to get to the camping and all that. Like,
and it's money to get there in the morning, but the better part is after you've been partying all day, you've got.
I don't care about the morning. It's about the evening.
The easy exit.
I need to stagger out, and I'll be dragging my wife more than likely. So like, I need to be able to get her to a pillow very quickly. But I haven't been to a festival in forever, and it's the Bourbon and Beyond Festival. So not only is there a shit ton of good music, but literally every bourbon maker worth their salt is there.
I might get you to pick me up some Four Roses.
There's we did a bourbon taste-off here in the Pallet House, and we had like 18 different bourbons, and we did it tournament style, and we worked our way down.
We picked bourbon $60 and under.
Yeah, 60 and under, readily available at Virginia ABC store. Mm-hmm. I'm shocked.
Spoiler alert.
It was Four Roses single barrel that won the whole damn thing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, then
you say that like it's like, but I was shocked. Like I think
we all were shocked.
The Blade and Bows, the Jeffersons. Like I thought all of these should beat it. They don't.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it.
But it's also a lot of personal preference too, like to bourbons. Like, the thing I love about Four Roses is when you get into their higher selection levels, they put that flavor profile lettering on it.
Yeah.
And so like I've got one that the Bourbon Bar, they bought a barrel. They actually mailed me a bottle from that barrel, and it is the hottest, smokiest bourbon I've ever had in my life. But then I can now find things that are similar to that because of that flavor profile lettering.
Oh, I like that. Well, I'm going to be trying all of them because Four Roses has their own tent, their own setup there. But I mean,
I'm going to send you. I'll have to text you the 4 letters I'm looking for and see if they have anything close to.
So the question is, who's going to be there?
Oh man,
Do you know?
It should be the entire Bourbon Row, I would assume.
Well, no, I'm talking music because this is first and foremost a music festival.
Yes, it is.
Anybody worth a damn?
I mean, to me, it's all the good ones, and I know Ely's excited about Chris Stapleton.
Who?
Exactly.
That's Rick's brother. When did he start playing music? I thought Rick was the big guy.
I mean, you got everything. Like, my wife's excited about Alanis Morissette. I can't say that I am.
You ought to know.
But then you got Jack White. You got the Revivalists, Shovels and Rope.
Okay,
this is all one day. Shaky Graves.
Hold on. So Jack White, he's the White Stripes guy, right?
Yes.
People swear he's like amazing.
That's why I have to see him because I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I've never felt it.
I mean, obviously, Seven Nation Army kicks ass. We've all been to a football game, or a sporting event, I should say.
Yeah.
Who else?
Kings of Leon, Brandy Carlisle, Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, Courtney Barnett. I'm dying to see this Chris Stone Kingfish Ingram. He's the baddest blues player in the game right now. Lucas Nelson, Charlie Crockett, Houndsmouth, Pearl Jam, Greta Van Fleet. It's Pearl Jam? Oh, sorry. Pearl Jam.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Greta Van Fleet, Cold War Kids, Ellie King, Robert Randolph, Drive-By Truckers, St. Vincent, St. Paul and the Broken Bones, Chris Stapleton, Doobie Brothers.
Who are the headliners?
Drive-By Truckers, hasn't that been like...
They've been around forever.
1990s.
I was about to say, I think my first concert was Farm Aid in like 94, 95, and they were
Drive-By Truckers are probably there.
And that's when Jason Isbell was still with them. They're both there. And the band that I'm most excited to see is Camp.
Yeah,
never
that
heard
dude's
of
awesome.
I freaking love Camp. That is like
CAMP?
CAAMP.
Oh, my bad. I was way off.
That is like
All the Debts I Owe.
Oh,
that song's the shit, dude.
Great song.
Yeah.
I have fallen in love with Camp. I think it's the baddest band going.
I mean, what style of music?
If I said bluegrass, then I would be disrespecting the rock side of them, and if I said rock, I'd be disrespecting the bluegrass side of them.
So I need to check them out.
Yeah. I absolutely would.
Put the cash in the trunk, get the keys, let's go.
That's the guy.
Okay.
He's fantastic.
He is amazing.
He's gonna say Chicago.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, now I can't. Now I have to go back to hating him because you're biased.
Oh no, he hit a bank in Chicago. He was robbing a bank.
He gets kicked off.
Well, if you're talking over it, it's okay. I think how that goes. But yeah, that whole vibe has become like, that was my summer vibe, and I didn't even realize how much I liked him. Like, they just kept showing up on like playlists.
Yeah,
it's one of those where I just kept like, man, who's this? And I was like, oh, that's Campy.
Like something a little more mainstream. Would you put him at like Old Crow Medicine?
Old Crow Medicine doesn't have enough vibe.
Yeah, but same. Yeah, I would say it's similar.
It's similar.
For sure.
That sounded.
Yes, absolutely.
But Brendan's gonna pick this band camp because he's gonna see them live in a couple weeks, and it's gonna be his favorite fucking thing.
They've been my favorite band all summer, though. Like, that's been the band, and I didn't realize. And even when I bought the tickets, I didn't realize that I was digging on this band over and over, and they're playing there. But yeah,
you bought the tickets because Pearl Jam's there.
Oh, Pearl Jam, Kings of Leon. There's a lot of bands that are big that are really good. But even like the Chris Stapletons of the world, I love that kind of stuff, as y'all know.
Well, it'll be an interesting critique when you come back of how they are versus recorded and live.
I'm hoping they're good. The thing that scares me about Camp is like every so often you'll hear a song and he'll allude to the fact like I'm not a junkie kind of thing, or like I'm super. I've never been this high.
So you don't like him because he's not a junkie?
No, it scares me because that was the kind of shit Bradley Noel from Sublime used to say before he lost this. So I'm just like, I basically want this guy to keep the needle out of his arm long enough for me to see them.
The people on the edge make the best music. Though,
I was going to say, don't you expect all rock and roll people to be battling demons of some sort?
Of some sort, yeah. And I just want to make sure his don't catch him before
He'll be fine. He's just going to a huge festival dedicated to liquor.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
With all artists, though, right? I mean, look at what Heath Ledger did with that Joker reprise.
Yeah.
He was apparently like coked out of his mind the entire time.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He fell apart.
You haven't heard anything from him lately?
Not lately.
No.
He hasn't put
Not
out
doing much.
No.
Really slacking off.
He really has. Like a lot. They have a podcast at this festival. It's the Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast.
Are you going to take your mixing board?
I was wondering if I should go up.
They
and
need a producer.
That's right.
If they pay me.
I mean, you tested my mic this week, so I knew how to talk.
You should reach out to him.
Right.
Let them know that Richmond's #1 sports podcast will be there.
Yes. Hey, Charlie Day, I'm gonna be there. You've probably been listening.
Do you really think the Sunny guys are going to be on there? No, it'll be some fans.
No, it's the Always Sunny guys. They have a podcast.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. They keep showing their picture, and I've listened to their podcast.
Okay.
No, that's what they're doing. They're going there and they're doing it. They're doing a bourbon tasting and then doing an hour-and-a-half podcast. They're on one of these side stages.
That's cool.
And this is something I've never seen before at a music festival. Usually it's like you put the main stage all the way on one end, and then you put the second main stage all on the other end. And what ends up happening is you get this kind of overlap where like you're missing, like if Greta Van Fleet's playing here and Pearl Jam's playing here, you have to kind of pick one because you're going to miss. As it happens.
Isn't that how all music festivals work? You can't be in more than one stage, and they always have more than one stage.
So I always thought this. But at this festival, they have the main stage and the #2 stage right next to each other. Like literally.
So they're drowning each other out?
No,
that sounds like a bad design.
So when they're flipping bands.
No, they flip them. So like there's a 5-minute gap between each show. So all you have to do is just kind of shuffle right over here and shuffle right over here to have the money seats.
That makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
That's way better than both of them playing at the same time.
That's what I'm saying, because I was like looking at this and I was like, man, we're gonna miss all these cool bands because like they got dual headliners each day. And then when I got the schedule, I was like, man, there's a 5-minute gap between each one of their shows. I was like, all right, this could work. The map just came out this week, and I was like, wait a minute, the stages are literally right next to each other, so you just shuffle back and forth.
I just want the drone footage of the crowd. It's like adult herd ball.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got the drone, but I would have to be outside to get the footage.
Yeah.
Like I can't
fly it over top.
I can't bring the drone in. This thing is buttoned up. They won't let me bring a backpack in unless it's like a clear backpack.
Well, the good thing is like good bourbon is really affordable.
Dude, I got the VIP ticket, so like,
Of course.
and there's a Pappy thing in the VIP. They didn't put Pappy out with the.
No, wait, hold on. Let's talk about the Pappy thing.
I have never had Pappy.
It's not that good.
It's not.
But
I've
I've got to try it at least.
It's all a media blitz.
Yeah, it's a marketing.
It's from when
you can't find it.
Don't get me wrong. It did happen, but they had like hundreds of barrels stolen, and so Pappy just went away for a while. And that's why it's so easy.
That's hilarious because that is the exact thing that happened to the Hardywood. What's the Christmas
gingerbread stout?
Gingerbread stout.
Yeah.
They had one year where the vats just drained out, and then it became so rare. That's when the cult following really popped.
Oh, I had it a different way.
Well, it occurred in the same year that they scored 100 the year prior on Beer Advocate.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
So Beer Advocate gave them 100.
Yeah.
Then the next year they filled the kegs, and then the guy didn't shut the valve all the way, and so they never got to bottle it.
That one's on me, guys.
Yeah,
my bad.
But now I wonder, like, this was a known ploy from the Pappy days, because I remember that someone came in and robbed them, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what happened?
They stole their entire warehouse.
Wow.
Yeah, someone shuffled all the barrels out in the middle of the night.
I don't think so.
I know a buddy of mine won a bottle, and he was like, "Gather around, we're drinking the Pappy night." And I at the time I didn't even know, but he had won the ABC,
It's a big deal.
The lottery, yeah.
And so I was like, "What is Pappy Van Winkle?" He's like, "Oh, this is like the best bourbon ever. It's super rare. I had to win a lottery, blah blah blah." I took a sip of it and was like the
Grandpa's cough medicine.
And I'm like, am I wrong? Like, what's going on here? Like, I thought this was going to be the greatest thing ever.
Well, it's like restaurants. We have a separate lottery for restaurants because
really?
we don't have to compete with the general public. I mean,
but you have to pay general public prices, which is some bullshit.
We just don't pay the tax on it.
Yeah. Whoop-de-doo.
And so we'll win them. We win them fairly often because we are one of the few restaurants that actually like participate. And so we'll get a Pappy bottle and we'll sell it for like $35 a shot or whatever, which is way under market value.
Yeah.
Because other restaurants are like, oh, we're going to sell it for $70, and then like people just flood the restaurants because they're like, oh my god, they have it. I would rather
here's a list of the bourbons that will be there. I can't read it off because it's just
too many.
It's the murderer's row of bourbon.
I would definitely try it if I was at a bourbon festival and they were there. I mean, I'm not like saying it's garbage. I'm just saying it's not. The value isn't there.
I don't.
Well, this is a weird way to list it though, because they're listing all of the different types of bourbons. Like Four Roses is on here like 20 times.
Yeah, I mean, if you scroll up, you'll see the distillers themselves. But I mean, like you can see that it's literally like Four Roses will have 20 different bourbons there.
How's everybody not going to be blackout drunk just drinking bourbon?
I'm a little concerned about that too because it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
And then you're walking around.
You're going to need cucumber
but that's
water.
Not going to be. That's not a fun hammered.
No,
off of bourbon in hot weather.
No,
sun beating down on you. Hopefully, you get good weather.
Gonna be. It's gonna be a little different. But
I do feel like the clientele here, though, is going to be
interesting.
The clientele you want,
like a higher class, like not.
I don't. Are you going to get a lot of folk people? Well, I mean, what were the ticket? Not the VIP ticket prices, but did they price the tickets like a music festival, or did they price them like a bourbon festival?
Right.
Nah, they were about. If they were inflated, I'd say only like 10%.
What was the ticket price? Not what you paid, but what was like if I wanted to go to this 3-day festival, what would
$400.
That's pretty pricey.
But it's
That's pricey, right?
4-day festival.
Because usually
it's
like
normal.
Yeah, it's about $100 a day. But you're getting, 20 bands a day.
Yeah, but that's every music festival.
But the bourbon is like tastings, and you pay for them, or
you're paying for them.
Oh, okay, so these people can go and listen to music and not give a shit about.
Now
bourbon.
there was something that was the Beyond VIP that were like super expensive, and they sold out instantly. And those, if you get in the Beyond VIP,
everything's covered,
free food and drinks.
That's awesome.
And I actually tried to get that because I was like, I can make money if I could just get in there. And those sold out like instantly. So I've just got
because there are only a certain number of those.
Do you guys do the bourbon trader and whatnot?
I don't know, but I know
because that's one of the things. Like Blanton's is not a specialty bourbon; it's a limited release. But you can just you just have to figure out which store it's at.
Yeah.
Go buy it, and then you can flip that on the market to like other states.
I got a buddy who does all that.
I mean, it's obscene.
He's got a guy in Poland who he like trades with.
You know what's actually really on here that I think is a really underrated bourbon is Knob Creek.
Knob Creek's not bad.
It lost out to
the
Four Roses.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like a general is like $10 bourbon at a bar.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll be drinking Knob Creek and ginger. So I'm a little nervous about the whole bourbon.
I can
thing.
see you getting over your skis, at least on one day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I will at some point, especially
One
'cause
day. What's the difference? What's the other days are going to be?
I'm
You
hoping
only,
he
it
learns his
only takes
lessons.
one time
Oh, okay.
before you're like that was regretful.
I would do your pacing. Do your bourbon, a whole glass of water or a bottle.
Yeah,
It's gonna
$16 bottle of water. What
cucumber
about-
water if you got it.
Well,
Right.
the other thing, I'm down in weight, and I'm not used to drinking at this weight, and I'm feeling
And liquor.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, but how often do you drink?
I mean, I drink a lot, but I don't drink liquor a lot,
Yeah. Well,
and it is different.
you're gonna have to slow your pace.
And
But your
this-
liver processes it.
I heard if you butt chug it, it's better for you.
Oh,
That was
okay.
part of the VIP. Comes with funnels.
Objection! Hearsay!
Yeah, we'll see.
You get to keep this funnel?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Because the last time I was
Comes with alcohol swabs.
the last time I was down at this weight, I remember
Free pack
I
of baby
went
wipes.
out one night, drank a bunch of gin, and I ended up getting like alcohol poisoning.
Gin's awful.
But I just don't. It's different what I can do when I'm 25 pounds heavier versus now. My body doesn't.
We get
You
it.
see-
You've
you see a
lost weight.
difference?
I know there's a difference. Like I get drunk faster and I'm more hungover. Whereas if I'm
Interesting.
carrying more weight, I feel fine.
Like I've fluctuated 20, 30 pounds before. I've never.
You've never noticed a difference, even drinking liquor,
Yeah.
because that's where it affects me. I can drink beer.
He's just
But again-
pointing out that he's lost 25 pounds. I know.
But outside,
I have lost 25 pounds.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't know?
But outside of like a real life like male alcoholic, like I mean, because they drink. Like I mean, it's
Yes.
just a different level
Yeah.
of drinking at that
Oh,
point, right?
yeah.
When you have
Sure.
that kind of a problem, like the bartender, the bar industry professional, it's just like maybe just a different situation.
Yeah, because you're around it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I literally I've gone years where I've drank 7 nights a week just because I'm there.
Yeah, why not?
Like
You're there.
What am I going to drink? Cucumber water? While I'm standing here?
G2s.
Does
Yeah.
sound good.
And I got all this cool music playing in the background.
That's right.
This is not cucumber music.
I don't know. I'll report back. I'm cautiously optimistic that this old man can still throw down.
He
at
won't
music
remember
festival.
any band after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
oh yeah, what are the hours of it? How early are you starting in the day?
So most of the days, there's not a band that I'm like, I got to see that band until 2. But there is one day where there's a 12 o'clock band that I'm like, I got to see.
How late do they go? Like, when's the last band go on? Midnight? 10?
No, like 10. They're pretty reasonable. So you're dealing with like a midnight close.
Well, that's going to be a hard play because like you're going to want to do the bourbon tasting because obviously you like the bourbon.
Why would you not want to do the bourbon
But
tasting?
then you also want to see
See the band,
So do
yeah.
you go at noon to start to do 2 hours of bourbon tasting to go catch?
No. I think at noon, you really focus on like noodles, pizza, bread. They have all kinds of good food vendors.
Nice.
That's always a big part of it too.
I
Because it's
want a
like,
bowl of toast to absorb
gravy.
everything.
Where's a loaf of bread?
oh, I've learned anything, you find the noodle guy. The noodle guys at these festivals are always the shit. I'm
Vendors are cheap too at festivals, so that'll be fun.
dirt cheap. No, this
Is
is
like
going
a
to be,
ramen guy?
they're usually thicker noodles.
Okay.
And they're filling.
Like
and
an
they'll keep
Italian
you
dude?
going. No,
What
these
kind
are
of noodles are these?
hippie noodles?
Hippie noodles.
Hippie noodles.
know what he's talking about.
Take notes next to a restaurant.
Think of like spaghetti shape, right? It's
Yeah.
just like long,
Straight.
but
Is that what a noodle looks like?
twice as thick as a spaghetti noodle.
So like a bucatini.
Sure, I have no idea.
Bucatini is the one with the hole in the middle.
No,
but it's super.
But this would be dense, full, no air inside.
What's on the noodle?
The world is your oyster. Hippies go nuts.
Sausage
Like
gravy.
what? Snickers?
No, I've never had like Snickers, but like sometimes you get an Asian flair. Sometimes.
Got any of that Snickers scatty over there?
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you get the
You're not
Italian
yourself,
flair,
bro.
but then other times you're gonna get like barbecue and shit with the
Really?
noodles. Yeah, like they go nuts. It's
Meats
hippie.
on them and everything?
Oh yeah.
I mean, can we do like a sweet frog noodle spot?
That sounds pretty
like
cool.
Build your own.
Isn't that Noodles and Company?
No, that's not build your own. Noodles is here's your menu. Get your stroganoff and get the hell out of here.
You got like 15 different noodle options.
But
and most of them
because
suck.
the build your own's where it's at. I mean, that is the thing that people are into.
That's basically how these hippies roll. You want pineapple in there, go for it.
Yeah.
You want barbecue.
So it's basically the Chipotle Qdoba noodles.
Yeah.
And
What you get?
shit.
5 different meats. Pick one. Different sauces, whatever. Just
Like the one on the East Coast that hits is Island Noodles. They go to all the festivals and shit.
Really?
So good. I can only imagine what they're gonna have in Kentucky. But I've already seen in the chats.
because that's West Coast.
I don't know what is Kentucky. It's not East Coast.
It would be central, if anything.
Yeah, I'd say it's central.
Flyover.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
flyover.
Definitely closer east.
Like I've never even been to Louisville. Very interested to see what this shithole is like. I won't get to see it much. I'll drive in,
Yeah.
party,
blasted.
same place for 4 days, and drive out.
It's on my dad's bucket list for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. That would be dope.
I'll be right by it. I'll miss it.
Just get your $1,000 mint julep.
Yeah. And some noodles.
Comes in a gold cup.
Oh, I'll be getting mint juleps. That's gonna happen with some cucumber in it because it's
Take
hot.
plenty of pictures to help spark your memory.
It's not a bad idea. I'm hoping my Be Real game is tight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, for 4 days, my Be Real is not going to suck. Unless they hit me up in the morning. I'm like in a hotel, like taking a deuce, Ely style. Ely likes to drop the deuce Be Real.
No. I like to be real.
That's right. He's
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you
keeping
fake it is what you're saying.
No, I just happen to not be. I've never been shitting when a Be Real popped.
So that's like the lottery. You can't blame somebody
Yeah.
for that.
It's just luck. We talked about last week, 2 weeks ago, with my situation that popped off.
I think what's going on here is he's not real.
He's not real.
Right.
Fucking
Should
real.
we let the app know, people? So
You
they
look
can,
at my app. I'm late 50%.
I'll go take a picture here in a few minutes when I'm sitting up.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be a really cool picture. Let me take this.
That's not how I do it.
Yeah, it is.
It's not how I do it.
You're
Yeah.
not real.
I
I'm
don't
so
even know what
fucking
y'all are
real.
talking about. What is Be Real?
Oh,
damn.
you're not
With
cool.
Cypress Hill. Heel, you hear that?
I mean, I know who Be Real is.
Yeah.
Be
he's the
Real
man.
is a social media app where they send you a text and they're like, now you have to take your Be Real.
There's one picture a day, and you take it
No
when they
filters,
tell you.
no
filters,
bullshit.
no. So whatever
It's like
you're
just
doing,
what you're doing at a random time throughout the day. And you
Interesting.
And then
Yeah.
everybody posts at the same time. So like all your friends, you see what
So you get a
everyone's doing.
notification like you got 2 minutes to send your Be Real, and whatever you're doing at that time, just take a quick picture.
Okay.
It's pretty
So,
interesting.
For me, you see a lot of spreadsheets and like
Yeah, there's tons
yeah,
of
like
screen
people that
time.
work in
Zoom
office
calls.
jobs, like during the day, it's just like there's 2 computer screens and a keyboard.
Yeah.
So they don't send it out at 2 a.m.
Oh, sometimes.
No,
they had one at like midnight the other
Yeah,
night.
they
it's
did.
it's
I was
not
asleep.
been later than midnight, and not been earlier than 6 in the morning.
I was assed out when that midnight one
Oh, me
came
too.
out. Dude,
Yeah.
I had this was fucking crazy. I was over at the Duke's house hanging out.
Speaking of Be Real,
Not being real.
before you get off that, didn't you get a new Be Real friend?
My daughter popped up and I was like, "Oh, you're on Be Real?"
That's hilarious.
Got
So is this
it.
thing like going? Is it taking off, or are we the 3 people holding it together?
It's growing every day. Like the fact that my daughter was like, "All my friends are on Be Real."
Oh wow.
I was like, "That's hilarious."
We're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
We're hip.
Did Be Real start it?
That was the question.
That's what I asked the other
That's
day. I
what
was like,
he-
if he didn't, he should be the spokesman.
He should be suing.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm getting a little of this now. It's making me think about it. But I was over at the Duke's house the other night, and my wife was like, "I want to leave," and I was like, "All right, well, we'll get on out of here." And I was like driving home, and I was like, "Man, I can't drive." Like I hadn't been drinking that much, but all of a sudden, like everything started like kind of like spinning a little bit, and I was like, "Man, this is crazy."
Was the vehicle spinning? Like, had you already lost control?
No,
Oh,
the vehicle was going straight, but it was like really light. It was just like things were
Vertigo
just
style?
shifting. So I get home and I'm like helping the kids. I'm talking to them, and then like I'm like spinning more. Now I'm like sweating, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on? I was like, I think I needed to go to bed. I was like, I must have drank way too much, and so went upstairs and like got in bed, and the whole room is just spinning.
How
like
long ago was this?
Crazy. This was Sunday night.
Okay.
Room spinning like crazy, feeling like I'm gonna puke. I wake up the next morning and everything is just going batty spinning. Had tried to get out of bed, like stumbling around, full blown vertigo. Like couldn't do anything. Fell over a couple times during the day, like tried to do something and like put my head down, spinning pick up, kind of fall to the side or catch myself on something. I had full-blown vertigo. I haven't had that I've had it from concussions.
Yeah.
Like when we used to wakeboard a lot and like
were you swimming or like random?
there was literally nothing.
Can't tie it to anything.
I went and was eating crabs, drinking beers, and that was it.
Did you
were you crabbing?
Can you tie it to anything? I mean, how long did it last?
About 24 hours. And I'm still like right now, I just started feeling lightheaded in the room, just started going like this. I'm like, damn it. So I don't know.
So my dad deals with that, but it's the crystals in his ears.
That's what mine is.
Okay, so he there's a maneuver or something that he does to reset the crystals, but
Yes.
it makes him like violently ill. So
It
he plays
does.
this game of like, how long do I want to be kind of weird in the head before I have to get violently
I think
ill
it's
to
called
get rid of it?
the
Wow.
the Kepley maneuver. The Kepley.
But you got to like lay on your bed and like you throw your head back and like
Yeah, you have to figure out.
It makes him puke.
It's because it's
makes you
violent.
because when the crystals reset, your entire equilibrium goes.
You guys
off.
sound like a bunch of fucking hippies with this crystal talk.
No. So the crystal is all right. So
Make sure your
here's how-
dream catcher's with you.
So I rubbed some crystals in my ear hole, and then next thing I know,
I'm going to try to explain this as best I can, but I don't understand it wholly. But so here's how you have in your ear, you have a canal that's filled with water, right?
yes.
And you have it on either side. And that water is what feels movement. And that's how your body stays in equilibrium because the water should move equally on each side. So it allows you to have equilibrium. Your brain computes and goes, okay, you're stable.
You're not a doctor?
I'm not a doctor.
Wow. I'm
So
surprised.
there are
too.
these crystals in your ear canal. It's just like a chunk, right? And if it breaks loose and falls into that pressurized tube, like hydraulic brakes or something, like if it falls into that pressurized tube, well, that crystal's shifting around and it's moving the water. It's displacing it in a way that makes your brain think, oh shit, we're leaning to the left, adjust, and your right ear's going, there's nothing wrong here. And so your brain is freaking out trying to figure out, and that's the spin. And it just starts making, so what you can do is you can lay on your side for 30 seconds and it allows that crystal to move down a certain amount. And then you turn to the other side and it moves it around because you're trying to get down like a...
You're trying to get the BB out of the maze.
Basically.
Yeah.
And so you do this, and there's like 4 different moves you have to do for 30 seconds a piece,
And
or
then you
until you
projectile
stop.
vomit.
Clothed or
Always do it naked.
okay.
But there is
Doesn't matter, but I prefer full blown nude.
that,
sure.
that
Works
second
better.
that second or
Best
third
results.
turn that you do is going to move the crystal into a spot.
Now I feel like
That's
I want
gonna-
to try it just to see if it'll make me puke.
It
Yeah.
throws you for a loop. I was doing one, and your eyes are going like flickering back and forth as your brain's trying to figure it
You're
out.
having a stroke.
No, in that moment, you
This
will.
is like the equivalent of like pushing the Nintendo game up and down and blowing in it.
but I know what your dad's saying.
smacking the side of the
that's
old
what it
TV.
is.
It's violent.
He's dealing with like dizziness and just not feeling well, and he's like, "Okay, I'll deal with this for like 2 or 3
Well, your
days."
dad and Brendan are the same age.
And then he finally does the maneuver, but he's like,
But is there some times where he doesn't need to do the maneuver because
No.
it goes away?
his is so bad that
okay.
he has to do the maneuver.
It's the
So
only
How
way to
frequent
move
is
it
it?
through.
It's funny because like it'll happen, and then it'll happen like 4 months later, and then it won't happen for like 2 years. He's been dealing with it for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't had it for years, and it.
Could you do anything in those 24 hours to like what could you do to maintain sanity?
Keep
Like
my
not be
head,
a big
keep
wuss?
my head literally
Perfectly
straight.
straight.
If I keep my
Sit in a
head
chair and not
straight
move.
up and down, getting in a car and just the inertia of pulling forward will move that crystal just from G's. It makes you just feel like you're going to puke
Wow.
immediately. And that maneuver, I had to do it like 3 times that day. And the first time I did it, it was on the 3rd turn. It hit me in a way.
The crystal turns. You did that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it fucked me up. And I just thought I was going to puke everywhere. Like I was panicked how bad it was.
Crystal turns. Write that down.
Crystal turns. Okay, yeah. I like
You know you're soft as puppy poo when gravity gets the best of you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard standing
Yuck it up till it happens. It's
Oh, God.
I got the spins, bro.
I got the black lung pop.
Pop. I got the crystal ear pop.
Can we do it?
When you speak of me, speak well.
Exactly.
Can we just move on?
He went out doing what he loved. Bitching.
Standing up.
Bitchin'.
Dragon's Milk White, bourbon barrel aged white stout.
I figured because I was going to the Bourbon and Beyond Festival, we gotta.
Are you on the new Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How about the new Lord of the Rings?
No, I've not seen that yet.
Do you want a whole one of these, or you want to split it?
I'll take one.
I like the balls on this guy.
You just want to
Take a
taste?
taster, yeah. Well, you can use the same cup.
Dragon's Milk White Bourbon.
Already threw mine out.
What's a white stout?
Taster use
About to find out.
I mean, is it
New
gonna be-
Holland Brewing.
This is one of the things I don't understand about alcohol companies. Bourbon is good by itself. Beer is good by itself.
Yes.
Why do we have to mix everything?
that doesn't pour dark. They said it was a stout. That's interesting.
So it's a white stout.
Oh shit!
I've yet to have a bourbon beer that I enjoyed.
I don't like any bourbon beers. Oh
Right? We've never liked one, right?
no, but put that in your mouth. And this is only 6% ABV. So for a bourbon stout, this is a whole different pussified ball game.
So you can
I
milk
really like
dragon.
that.
You can milk dragons.
Holy shit.
Who would have thought?
Again, that's the sense of smell, though. That's not the beer. There's too much going on.
Yeah, what's going on here? Because I really like this.
It's got a weird funk to it.
I haven't smelled it.
Smell it.
Is that, because I got to ask these stupid questions, is that a hoppy beer?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's the furthest thing from hoppy.
Because that hits me like a Falcon Smash hits me on my
Oh, hell
on
no.
my flavor profile.
No.
It's got it's
You
hard
are
to
fucked
describe.
up.
Like a tart or a I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like a Falcon Smash. So it's your smell is playing you for a fool here.
I mean, it's 75% of your sense of taste.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting because I have seen very different reactions around the room when that went in their mouth.
All right, well, I can go first since I was already, open book here.
Yeah. You're going to lead with the high score, and then we're going to plummet when James gets to it.
You just might want to throw mine out as.
Does it have like a white Russian-y flavor?
Fuck yeah, it does.
Okay.
Like chocolate and caramel going on.
Yeah, the caramel. That's what it is.
It's
Nailed
amazing.
it. Yeah.
Caramel.
So, yeah, I like it a lot. 6%. It's got some amazing flavors. I was not expecting that.
Not
I don't
at
really
all.
taste the bourbon.
That's the caramel.
Oh, it is.
Because the bourbon, oftentimes, is one of the flavors is caramel.
Okay. Did not know. We learn something new every day.
Caramel.
Rarely on this podcast, but today I learned something new.
I'm just doing the super douchey disagree. Like,
Yeah.
I say caramel too, but I love when people do that. They're like, it's not caramel.
It's for content.
Tomato, asshole.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go 3.5 because I really do. I like this.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Let's just keep it on the high score train. I'll go
Okay.
next because I have a funny feeling you two are going to tank this.
Don't bring me down.
The way
Bruce.
that I've never had a white stout before. This is like it's got like the milk in it, like lactosey almost. It's super smooth.
But what does it look like?
It pours like not a stout. Pours more
Looks
like
like a beer.
lager.
Yeah, it's like a Hefeweizen or something.
Like a heavier lager.
The way the bourbon plays into it though is just doing chocolate and caramel. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is finally a bourbon stout I can get behind. And I don't know if it's because it's the white or the white stout or what it is.
It's because you two are Game of Thrones nerds.
I don't give a shit
What's
you
on the
say.
can,
Yeah,
right.
I don't. This is phenomenal.
Liars. You love dragons and you want to milk them.
There's,
that's
I got
odd.
nipples, fucker. I'm literally between a 4.5 and a 4. Now, to just
Wow.
not go crazy, I'm going to go 4.
And
But,
Ely did 3.5?
I did.
but I'm going 4 because I think the flavors in this are.
I'm going sheer taste. He's going off of sheer shock of a bourbon beer.
Yeah.
The shock of the bourbon beer is why I'm saying 4.5.
Yeah.
But I'm tempering that because I have to remember that this is just about the beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 4. I think that's the best bourbon beer I've ever had.
Whew, interesting. I hate to go after you two. You guys have thoroughly enjoyed this.
Oh well, we got.
I can take it for you if you want.
James hates it.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I don't. This is definitely the best bourbon beer I've had, but I don't have it at the height that you guys do. To me, it's more boozy than the beer we did last week.
Yeah, and this is lower. This is 6%,
not a 7. I can definitely taste the chocolate and the caramel, but it's just I don't know. There's something. It's too boozy for me, and I give it a 2.5.
Wow.
Maybe a 3.
Came down
but
hard.
I don't see it. I don't see what you guys. I don't see what you guys see. I do like the creaminess of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too.
So good.
It is. I mean, you're talking to a guy that loves White Russians here.
Yeah,
So-
and this falls right in. That lactose in there,
Yeah.
this screams White Russian.
It does.
That is so freaking good.
It's got a little bitter at the end.
The dude abides.
It's got,
that I'm
and I
not a
wonder
fan
if
of.
that's because this it's not a stout. It's like it's a white stout
Yeah.
thing. It's weird.
I don't know. All right.
So what'd you go? What'd you go as your
I'll
official
go
score?
3. It's better than average, so I'll go 3.
All right, so 3, 3.5, 4. James, what are you going to do here?
See, but you got to throw mine out as the outlier, right?
No, this is why we do it.
That's why we do it.
This is why we do it.
I'm not
true
even
average.
finishing my 3-ounce pour.
Yeah.
So you
it's
love it.
So it was so good.
You love it.
You
So
didn't-
good
saving
wanna
it for
save
later.
Yeah,
you
you
put a
didn't-
glass case over it.
There you go.
You didn't want to chase that dragon.
It didn't get smoked. We need it smoked like
That's
a
right.
real bourbon.
Exactly.
I'm a 1, a 1.5.
Oh, damn. That's the old
He
jugular.
That's
DKML'd it.
He
He
did.
fucking said that's the worst.
Well, if I'm basing it off last week, right, with the 4 on a beer I would drink 2 of.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
This is why we do this.
I would. There's a lot going on for my taste palate that I nope,
Just not
Not a
happy with
fan
that
of.
at all.
not. But it makes sense for me because you guys are talking about caramel and chocolate and all this other stuff going on in it, and too many flavors for me just kill taste.
So is the guy that can't taste that bump us up to a 3?
No, he can't smell.
Yeah, can't taste either.
I think
Can't have one without the other.
he tasted enough to hate it. And
Yeah.
He tasted enough in the last one to love it.
Yeah,
so he
actually,
tastes
that
enough.
could be opposite. It could make it, it's even worse then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
He's only
Right.
going off
The
taste.
guy that can't taste hates it. You're in trouble.
He assumes that's what a fart smells like.
Exactly.
That is
I give that fart a 2.
They can that fart. Nice.
All right, so you won
See,
or
I
one and a
laughed
half?
at that joke. See, I understood
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it all makes sense.
Oh, all these years.
So is that a 1.5 or a 1?
I'll go for a 1.5 since I didn't spit it back in the cup.
Okay, so we have a 1.5.
What are you doing that math for? It didn't work. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I mean, that kills it.
Yeah.
A 1.5 is an
I mean,
anchor.
I feel bad though because
Don't do that.
I'm damaged.
Don't feel bad. No, fuck. Don't feel
Don't feel bad. No.
This is why
It's
we
still
play.
This is
The
why
net
we
at
do
a
it.
3.
Yeah, this is why we play the game.
It's still a 3, which isn't a bad beer.
It's a very good beer.
No, it's just it's going to offend some of the population.
Yeah,
and
a
I
quarter.
expect that out
At
of
least
a
a
bourbon.
quarter, yeah.
Bourbon beers always offend a certain part of the population. They're not. It's
That's
a
why a
horrible
deli's
idea,
difficult because you got to get 4 people on board.
Yep.
and that's why we play the game.
Have y'all ever done the blind box taste testing?
Ooh, I like box.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds delicious. I think my wife would
Like a Helen
disapprove.
Keller?
If you can, if you
Do I have to be blind or does she have to be blind?
how does it work?
Do I qualify?
Why does her say matter?
And how many blind boxes do you need before it's a taste test? Like what constitutes
How many
a
do
taste
you know?
Because we'll take 3.
No, I've never done one.
No, that's new to me.
You're talking about the thing where they set the box up and you drink through the straw, like the different wines or whatever?
Yeah.
That is not
We've
what
done
I
a-
pictured.
We've done a version of that where we had the abacus would write wrong numbers on the cups and then hand them to us.
We did domestic beer and stuff like that, like to see which one you really like.
Yeah.
You think you're a Miller Lite guy, and then you end up liking
We're big
Bud
fans
Light.
of the blind taste test. Yes.
Yeah. Which Keystone came out on top. Weird enough.
No, it did well.
No, Keystone I thought was on top.
Miller Lite won the whole damn thing.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different taste test.
But let's get back to this blind box test. Piqued my interest.
Yeah.
So do you have like a
You got a story?
that you know where some?
You know a guy?
Can we like set this up?
Gal with a stick poking around the street.
This is.
I mean, there's some dive bars in Richmond. I mean, sure you could figure it out.
Staring at the sky at the crosswalk.
Oh shit!
I'm about to help you cross the street and blow your mind.
This is Hollywood Jim. This guy's got all the blind box. Set this up.
You got a story? Have you like done the wine or one of the versions of it?
Oh no, I was honestly
Just seen it on the interwebs?
Yeah,
I do feel like the box though, like because it is all over like the TikToks or the Facebook Shorts.
Yeah.
There's probably a better way to do it than having the abacus fuck it up.
He did fucking.
Yeah,
Yes,
just get a piece of cardboard and some straws.
Yeah.
it's not complicated.
No, not at all.
We need to pick something and do it again.
Holy derail, Batman.
You got to change the name to Blind Box Taste Test.
Yeah, write that down. Exactly.
You all right over there?
I just picturing all the ways we could do this. Speaking of Craigslist,
What?
well, where else are you going to put an ad up, right?
Oh, looking for the blind box. I
I
get
need
it.
3 blind boxes
Yeah.
for a taste test. I'm going to go with Jenny.
I
Ask
wonder if that
questions
girl from
later.
your high school is available.
Don't. Just don't.
Bro, you said she was a 10.
No, I told you she's a 6. For James, she could be a 10.
That's right.
That is a
So, okay. James taste.
yes. I was just saying, I got the guy. I got the gal
you.
for her.
The guy. Okay.
I laugh way too hard.
All right, hold on.
Killed me.
So young Jimmy did send in a Craigslist ad that absolutely cracked me up. It was for a 99 Corolla. Toyota Corolla,
Yeah.
solid car.
Yeah.
You know that thing's still on the road.
Well, that's basically what this guy alludes to. This guy, this is his Craigslist ad, and I'm gonna truncate a couple parts of it because it's a long ad, but it's pretty good. It says, "You want a car that gets the job done? You want a car that's hassle free? You want a car that literally no one will ever compliment you on? Well, look no further. The 1999 Toyota Corolla. Let's talk about features: Bluetooth, nope; sunroof, nope; fancy wheels, nope; rear view camera, nope. But it's got a transparent rear window, and you have a fucking neck that can turn."
That's awesome.
Let me tell you a story. One day my Corolla started making a strange sound. I didn't give a shit and I ignored it. It went away. The end. You could take the engine out of this car, drop it off the Golden Gate Bridge, fish it out of the water 1,000 years later, put it in the trunk of the car, fill the gas tank up with Nutella, turn the key. This puppy would fucking start right up. This car will outlive you. It will outlive your children. This car is old enough to do things. Vote, consent, yes. Consent to sex, yes. Rent a car, it is a car.
Yeah, why would you rent a car? That doesn't make any
Right.
sense. He is a car.
Right.
It's got history. It's done some shit. People have done straight things in this car. People have done gay things in this car. It's not going to judge you like a fucking Volkswagen would.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. All right, this part I'm gonna let all these go. You want to know more? Great. I had my car fill out a Facebook survey. Favorite food? Spaghetti. Favorite TV show? Alf. Favorite band? Tie between Bush and the Gin Blossoms. This car is as practical as a Roth IRA.
Sounds like Brendan.
It's as middle of the road
99.
as your grandpa during his last silver alert. It's as utilitarian as a member of the church whose scripture's based entirely on water bills. When I ran the Carfax for this car, it got back a single piece of paper that said, "It's a Corolla. It's fine." Let's face the facts. This car isn't going to win you any beauty contest, but neither are you. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to your wife. This isn't the car you want. It's the car you deserve. The fucking 1999 Corolla.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's the greatest ad ever.
What are they
Runs on
asking for?
Nutella. Yeah, what do they want for it?
I couldn't tell. I was looking at that, but like
That's a
it's
horrible ad.
You left out an important part there, brother.
Exactly.
it's a screenshot. So like I can't like scroll
Yeah, I
through
got
it.
you.
But
Try again. Try scrolling up again.
I did.
It still didn't work.
I can't believe young Jimmy didn't think we would want to buy this thing and left the price out.
Yes.
Dude, that is a brilliant ad though. I
Yeah.
love when people put an ad like that out there. It's a fucking Corolla.
He ain't wrong.
No. That car's beautiful. And I left out the part There was a whole paragraph diatribe about when it was released at the Detroit Auto Show and how people yawned and it created a vacuum in society.
That's awesome.
I was like, it's funny, but I'm going to let that go.
The only thing that could make it better is if it was the wagon.
It is not.
I see those wagons every now and then still on the road, dude.
Wagons make it all better.
I love a wagon. Nobody makes them anymore.
Yeah. They do. They're
Sad.
undercover, though. They're out there.
Yeah, some high-end
They're
cars.
super rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Toyota, Honda, like they used to make wagons. Like
Yeah.
no longer. Let's
Well,
make
Toyota tried with that Venza.
Let's
You know
make
what I mean?
every CUV, SUV that looks. You can't tell what brand it even is, but when you drive past it.
But that's because Americans buy that shit. In Europe, they make wagons all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember the wagons that had the last row
Facing
out the
backwards?
back?
Hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You want to see what's going to kill you.
For
That's right.
sure.
You wanna watch
But you want
it.
to make faces at the people behind you.
To distract them, so they
Yeah.
do run into you.
Exactly.
Dude, I did a road trip with my daughter the other day, and we were like passing all these trucks, and I was like, you can get those to honk, right? She was like, I'd heard
Blew
that.
her mind.
She's
She
like,
said, I heard that.
I'd heard that. Is that real?
I heard a rumor on the street. Is that for
I was
real?
like, watch this. I was like, we're gonna pull up next to this truck, and I want you to just do this. And we pulled up, and thank God that dude was like legit.
Yeah.
Like she dropped it on him.
Well, if
he
you'd
was,
done it, you'd have been laughed right out of the goddamn.
yeah,
interstate.
she's like a little kid, which is
Yeah.
exactly who you want to do it. I'm like, all right, it's like, all right, this is the one. I was like, there's a big enough gap because it's all about if there's cars in front or right
Yeah.
around, you could freak some people out. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. I was like, do the move I taught you. She dropped it. He was like, burp, burp. She was like, oh my God, that
Hell
was
yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
And when we got home, that was the story she kept telling.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You can die happy now.
My mom had a Ford Country Squire with the back seats faced in. They were
Yeah.
like jump seats, and that thing had a V8 in it. That thing would scream, dude.
That's awesome.
I mean, it weighed like 10,000 pounds,
Right.
Yeah, I saw
but fake wood paneling really
So a dude had
cleaned it up nice.
he had a 56 Chevy wagon, and he dropped an LS3 motor in it, completely redone it, and that thing was going on Bring a Trailer. It got damn near $100,000
Wow.
for that thing.
Wow.
But it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Why would you want anything else? Like, I would love to get an old wagon and like trick
It out, yeah.
That would be cool as shit. You just got to find the right body style.
What was the old performance one? The Nomads?
Yeah,
Yes.
those were dope.
They were Mopar cars.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the shit right there. And if you can modernize it, like actually put some brakes on it that'll stop it, because we know it'll go fast, but it also needs to stop.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have airbags.
Oh, that's what I'm getting. Well, I'm not getting a wagon rebuilt, but I'm getting an '85 Chevy Scottsdale rebuilt. They're
Nice.
putting a 383 stroker in it, and he's got like my mechanic's awesome. He's got like
The Scottsdale, is that like the SUV, like the Suburban looking?
No,
or
it's
is
the
that
old square
truck?
body truck,
Yeah,
but it's
okay.
the step down from the Silverado.
Okay.
So I mean, there's really no difference between the two except air conditioning and not. But he's putting an air conditioning system in it. But he's got like period specific looking radios that
That's
have
awesome.
Bluetooth technology.
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
everything.
I've
Like,
seen they sell those now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
If you're gonna buy an old car, that's the way to get it done. Get where like the guts and everything's new, but like it's still got the old body and like
Yeah,
it's
it
got all
looks
the
old.
safety
It feels
features.
old.
Yeah.
But
Huge
stop.
fan.
I was
of
looking
that.
at buying a new truck, and I'm like, I can spend
Oh, yeah, yeah,
half
yeah.
the amount of money and
Oh,
get
yeah.
something one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love one off. I love things that are different. Like, I'll just go look for like an Amigo as like a beater car. Like that would be cool. Like you don't see those, or like just something that not everyone else has.
Oh, you should see me driving my truck around my neighborhood with all of these fuckers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stick out like a sore goddamn thumb.
Illy's got a full size.
97 F350 turbo diesel. So it's
Full dually?
No.
Oh, okay.
Full four-door with
Crew
long
cab.
bed, crew cab.
It's as long as this whole room.
It's gigantic and loud as hell,
Yeah.
but it's just hilarious. And I live in like yuppie neighborhoodville, and it's like there, Tahoe land, and I'm here,
Yeah.
I am rolling in, looking like I'm building the house that I live in.
But the guys get it.
I don't know.
That thing doesn't do the coal roll thing where it like
No,
burps out all
it's
the
stock. It just isn't.
You don't think most of the guys in your neighborhood get it?
I think some of them do. Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked at how many, when I drive around in that old 4Runner, like I can't go to Lowe's or Home Depot without hearing somebody come up and be
Absolutely.
like, man, that's a great car. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I think guys get it, but I guess you're right. It's a small percentage.
Where you are. Well, guys get it, but it has a bit, like, at the river, way more get it. At the river, the kids are like, Jacob's like, I've had all these kids tell me how awesome your truck is. But here in Yuppie Land, it's like
they want the brand new Suburban. They want the new Wagoneer.
Exactly.
They don't want the older stuff. I went up to that 4-wheel drive parts store up by Northern
That's where
Tool
I get all my
day.
work done. I love it.
Oh, really?
Place.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
That's
Yeah,
who
so
put
I went in
all
there
the
for the
stuff
first
in there.
time and was checking it out. And guy was
Be careful
showing
in
me.
there.
Oh yeah,
They're drug dealers.
no, he was pushing.
Yeah.
Oh, you need this bumper and this bumper and this, and then didn't you just get 2.5?
I'll tell you what I need, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and you have to go in there with, like, you got to be strong.
yeah. So
They will sell you.
they were like,
Yeah, they're good.
the guy behind the I was talking to this other dude, and the guy behind the counter was like, check this out, and he just holds these sheets of paper up where you could just see the itemized shit. I'm like, what's that? He's like, guy just came in here with a brand new Gladiator and bought $19,000 worth of accessories.
Wow.
For the which is like a $70,000-$80,000 truck.
Yeah,
I'm like
axes and jacks for
I'm
the
like
back.
this dude's gonna have $100K in this Gladiator.
Yeah,
So the reason I go that there's a guy there. His name
Yeah, there's guys.
his name's Charles. This is my guy. And the first time I went in there, I'm like, look, I got this old Toyota 4Runner. And he's like, oh,
Is he the Toyota guy?
no. So he goes, let me show you something. And he starts flipping through all of his old Toyota trucks that are currently in his stable.
That's
like,
who the
at
guy
his house.
showed. That's who the guy was that showed me the $19,000 order.
He's
He's like, I'm not a Jeep guy. I'm a Toyota guy.
that's my guy. And so he ended up, the last time I got my work done on my car, like we'd ordered all these parts from all over. We were getting it done. And he's like, you don't have this extension rod. Like if you don't do this, his steering won't be stable. Like it'll work, but it won't be right. He was like, fuck that. He stopped working on my car, went back to his house, pulled one off of one of his trucks, came back and installed it on my truck. So I've got a used part on there, but I didn't get charged for it. He was like, that's how it's done. Right.
that's
there.
awesome.
That's awesome.
And so that's why I go there, because that guy, he gets it.
Yeah,
The guy that I was talking to was trying to like sell me some upgrades. He was definitely cool and chill. Like he was trying to sell me, obviously, but he wasn't pushing me. He's like, yeah, you could always just do this and this if you want to keep it more stock, you know. Like he wasn't.
No, they don't push, but they
No.
know so much that you're like, I kind of do want that bumper.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, you got to be careful in that place because you've got a Jeep now.
it could get out of hand for sure.
So we should talk about this. I mean, you had like a 30-year dream realized.
Yeah,
You've
over
been-
30 years.
you've been
wanting
waiting
a
on
Jeep
a
my whole
Jeep.
life.
Well, you've got it.
I finally got one.
I saw it out front.
nice.
It's there.
And now
Nothing special. It's nothing. It's
but-
stock. Really stock.
yeah, but now you're talking to the drug dealers.
Hey, exactly.
You know, you just tried the drugs. And you're like, ooh, this is good. Now you're going into the drug dealer house.
Yeah, you just bought the spoon. That's all you did.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I thought they'd have more stuff like in stock. He's like, we don't keep a lot in stock, but we can get you whatever. I'm like, Amazon can get me whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want these guys.
No, but like for certain things, like I could just buy off Amazon, and have it shipped directly to my house.
If you're talking about grips in your car,
And
shit like
weather
that.
mats and stuff like. But
Yeah.
everything they sell, they install. So that's nice to know that like you're getting professionals that actually
You
know
gonna
what
do
they're
anything
doing.
to that truck?
Probably not anytime soon.
I mean,
I spent more on that car than I've ever spent on any car. So like I'm
Slow
got to
rolling.
pump the brakes. Yeah, I can't be
I mean,
like
right now you're
hey
happy.
honey, let me go ahead and
you're happy right now. The doors
Yeah,
come off.
yes.
Top comes off.
Yep.
So you're ecstatic.
That's all. That's what I really wanted.
But when you get a new car, it's a new car. It's going to be fun for him for
Exactly.
6 months or
Yeah.
a year, regardless. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
wait to upgrade it when it's like, let me put something fun on it.
Yeah.
But
Make it new again.
You're a Jeep guy now.
Well, like my uncle's like, those tires suck. You're gonna want new tires. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna want new tires, but I'm gonna believe me. I will wear these tires out. Like I'm not just gonna go drop $1,200, $1,500 on tires.
Yeah.
Just for funsies when these still have tread on them.
All right, well, you have a dream now. For 30 years, you've been dreaming about just getting the Jeep. Now you
Yes.
have the Jeep. Is there a new dream bubbling up that you want to do to the Jeep? Is there anything that you're like,
I did it day 2. I took the doors off and rode around.
no, like I'm saying upgrades? Because Jeep people are.
It's you could go sick because there's no limit to what you want. No,
Are you waving? Are you waving at all your Jeep people
I'm getting there.
slowly?
Yeah, I am on
What percentage of them are chicks?
most. There's a lot of them. Yeah. Well, so I'm on this Facebook group. There's this whole new thing called ducking Jeeps where
that's the worst.
yeah.
What's
so
that?
I knew nothing about it. So the Ruba moms, as they're called, who have the Rubicons that are like purple and jacked up, they see each other and they put little rubber duckies on your Jeep.
So like so I was in St. Louis and my contractor took me out to a Cardinals game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pulling into the parking deck right outside of the stadium, and the attendant gives him this little baseball kind of clad rubber ducky. I'm like, what in the hell is that? And so that was my first
Because he was in a
experience.
Jeep.
Yeah, because he was in a Jeep.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's some weird thing.
So like you come out and there's a
Like
duck
it's not
on your
enough to
hood,
wave at everybody.
or
Now you have to like give presents.
you'll see them like stacked on
So this
on
guy
the dashboard.
at the parking garage is a Jeep
was-
owner that had a pocket full of ducks or something?
No, he was the parking lot attendant.
Yeah, but he clearly must own a Jeep or something.
Or
He just had a
something
pocket of ducks.
Or it's the
Dude,
Cardinals.
so I'm on this
I don't know.
Facebook group where like people post pictures of a box of rubber ducks. Be like, I just got my new shipment in. I can't wait to go out there.
And they're little. They're
duck-
like this big.
yeah, they just.
Really? And they put them where?
and the door handles on the dash. Like some of them
And
are
then
like
you're supposed to put it on your dash or do some shit. You duck your Jeep. But this is because
Chicks.
yep.
you get it.
So in this Facebook page, it's an anti-ducking, and they hate. Basically, to join the group, it's like, do you hate ducks? Do you hate 20-inch rims on Jeeps? And do you hate? Have you seen the angry grills that Jeeps have now?
I think so.
Yes.
Where like
with the teeth?
it looks like teeth, and the headlights look like
headlights
eyes.
are-
with
They
the-
have like the visor on that.
yeah.
Eyebrows.
So it's like you hate angry grills, you hate 20-inch rims, and you hate ducks. You're in this group.
Nice. You're our people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had no idea about the whole ducking thing. Like, I'm like, and then of course, like, I didn't know this either. So, and I'm sure this is with every car, but like, people are very specific to their version of the Jeep. So, like, if you have whatever, like, if you're a CJ7 guy, everything else sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a YJ
Oh, for
guy,
sure.
the JK suck. If you're a JK guy, the JL sucks. And
But
it's
some
like,
of that goes back to when there weren't 4-door Jeeps.
yes.
So like a CJ guy will always wave to a CJ guy.
Yeah.
YJs will always wave to YJs.
yeah,
And even the TJ.
the TJ, yeah.
Before the 4 doors came out, they always waved. The wave was something kind of special then. And then all of a sudden the Jeeps blew up when
Yeah.
the 4-door came out. So like the wave started kind of falling off. But if you ever are driving one of those older Jeeps, you will always get the wave from the people who have that generation.
But it's not
Yeah.
just Jeeps.
Oh, no.
So crotch rockets.
Oh, yeah.
And
Bikes in general.
cruiser
Yeah,
bikes.
they have a
motorcycles in
version of it.
general.
Yeah.
they always wave.
Crotch rockets wave to each other.
For sure.
Cruisers wave to each other. You don't wave to the opposite though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, Harleys rarely wave to the Ninja going by.
Yeah.
No,
Well, it's funny too. People post like, people are crazy, dude. Like, people post these screenshots and they're like, I don't get this Jeep culture thing. I've been driving around my Renegade and nobody's waving at me. And then like everybody with the Wrangler's like, because you don't drive a Jeep. Like, get the hell out of here with your Renegade or
Right.
your Liberty. Like, that's not a Jeep.
That's
I haven't
awesome.
gotten any ducks yet. I tricked out. I put a winch on the front of my Liberty, and
Yeah.
nobody gives me any ducks. It's like, get out of here.
you
Like,
deserve a duck.
I don't want a duck.
No, the Liberty person deserves a duck.
Yeah, there you
definitely.
go.
I mean, they should get a duck.
Yeah.
In fact, that should be a Liberty Renegade Compass thing.
Yes.
They should
Yeah.
all get ducks.
That would actually be kind of funny if Jeep Wrangler people put the ducks on the
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
there
God.
you go.
Yeah.
Now that is
Or
how
maybe
it
something
should be.
funnier, like the poop emojis or something like that.
Little rubber poops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Hanky.
Or
Chocolate ice
take
cream.
real dumps on them. Wait, is that
Ooh.
too far?
No.
I had
don't think
I had
so.
a 98 Cherokee for years, and I would never say I'm a Jeep guy.
How come
and
no
I
one
dri-
waved at me?
And I drive a Jeep. Like, when you say you drive a Jeep,
It's a Wrangler.
that's a Wrangler. Like,
of course.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's
You
that's
drove,
what
you
a
drove
Jeep
a Cherokee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I drive a Cherokee.
You don't say you're a Harley guy and you're on your 600 Suzuki. You know, you're like, I
no,
ride
it's a Harley.
motorcycles. I ride
it's a
bikes.
Harley. It's
yeah.
got 2 wheels.
So let's get into this argument. I think we might have talked about this, but I've been hearing another podcast bring it up. If you listen to a podcast, are you reading?
Oh, how about let's go to if you listen to a audio book.
Yeah, audiobook.
Let's take it to that.
That's what I meant to say, not a podcast.
Because
Do you say you read a book?
so
I will tell you 90% of people say they read a
They
book.
do, and
Yes.
they argue for it.
Yes.
Like, they get offended if you're like, you didn't read that book.
Well,
So-
when we need
No,
to
see, I
change it.
disagree. Like I would never say I read a book if I listened to an audio.
I know, but people do.
But most people I think do that are into audiobooks.
My argument is this: if your 5-year-old came home from school and said, "I learned to read today," or I read, Go Dog Go, and you're like, "Okay, show me how you read it," and they put on the audiobook, you'd be like, "You can't read."
All right, so here's where I'm
Right, but if he could tell you the
conflicted.
Go Dog Go story after hearing it,
You're still not reading.
true, but what's the point? Is the point to know the story or to
Well,
read
the
it?
point is reading. You definitely take in more than when you're listening. Because I read and I listen to podcasts all the time, and I'm always doing other things while I podcast.
That could be a function of you. I can sit in bed and hone in on what's being said in the podcast.
That's true, but I would say the average person doesn't do that.
Right, I agree. Yeah,
It's like I read super slow, so I will do audiobooks
yeah.
because I can get through more volume.
But you don't
I
tell
would
people you
I would
read it.
never say I read that
Well,
book.
I read a lot less now because of podcasts.
Because what would you? So you read Charlotte's? Say you just did audiobook of Charlotte's Web. We come over and we're just randomly talking about it. That our kids read it. What would you chime in and say?
I mean, I'd legitimately say like I'd listen to it on audio.
Okay, so I listened to it. Is how you describe it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I fucked up the other day.
Uh-oh.
Confession time.
Not cutting that hair.
Hair's growing longer.
Oh God.
It's gonna get longer.
That's going to add
Stay
more weight.
golden, pony boy.
So that's you're a motherfucker.
Do you ever like shake your head back and?
all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Before the vertigo, yes.
Yeah.
Now
right.
if I shake my head, I will fall.
Maybe
over.
the hair's what's causing the vertigo.
It could be
Ooh, Vertigro. You could have a product there.
vertigo.
You want to
Okay.
have golden blonde locks and dizziness? We've got you covered.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
My hair.
Brendan fucked up.
It's confession
Oh
time.
yeah, confession.
That's
so,
right.
So I will occasionally listen to a book.
Yeah.
An audiobook. And I don't really read anymore. Like I just don't. It's
Because you just listen to audiobooks.
well, like if I
because of
read
podcasts or whatever.
If I read, I'm reading a magazine. I don't read
Yeah,
books
right.
anymore. It's horrible. But I will listen to a book,
Yeah.
and I enjoy that because it's like I get to take in a whole story.
Yeah.
Now, do I agree that it's reading? No. I think there's something about dedicating yourself to being in that moment. You can't do something else. I can drive a car and listen to a book. I can't read a book and drive
Yeah.
a car. So I think there's a difference
can.
in being fully focused, right? I think that's the difference.
But you also when you say you read something, it's like if I handed you a menu at Social 52 or Chart, I'd want you to be able to read that menu. Like it's not like, well, let's play it on audiobook and
but
then
I don't
I'll
know.
read it to you.
Yeah, but see, part of me wonders how much you're it's one of those things where we pigeonhole everyone into the way we were raised. Like, who's to say that our kids need to read the book? Like, you want them to do it because we have this innate feeling like they really need to do that.
I'm not saying they need to read the book. I'm saying they need to be able to read to function.
Well, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
That's that's what I'm getting at.
But I'm saying just reading books. I'm not saying like a kid learning to read. Everyone needs to learn to read. I'm saying if us as adults, if we want to read or listen to an audiobook, what I'm saying is I think culture is going like they may not need to like the value that we place in reading a book may not be what we think it is.
I can agree with that, but to be able to get to where our level of reading, you have to read a certain amount. You can't just do it for 2 years, learn the basics, and then never read again and think you're going to be able to continue to read at a high level.
I see where you're going with your argument. I would say like reading a book versus reading on a Kindle
right.
is where you're at, right? Like because like if I were
but
to
I think
read,
reading
whether
a
it's-
Kindle counts as reading a book.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Definitely.
But it definitely changes the dynamic of the actual
Sure.
function, right? So like if I were to read a book, like that's actually me saying something because I read literally so slow.
Yeah.
Like that is a level of effort that I would honestly take.
It's more effort to read than
pride
listen.
into, right?
Yes.
So that's why I would that's why I make that distinction for me is when I sit down to read a book, which I do like once a year, it takes me half the year to get through it. That's actual effort
Yeah.
I put into it.
Right.
So what'd you do, Brendan?
Well, here's my confession. Someone asked me the other day, like, have you read any good books lately? And instead of taking the time to like put the qualifier out, I just dropped the name of a book I'd listened to. And
Yeah.
I knew in that moment
You were wrong.
that I was like that's
You felt
kind
dirty.
of it was deceitful.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, I feel deceitful, but I didn't want to get into the fucking argument.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just said, yeah. And I just named the book.
Is this something y'all have been holding back for a while?
No, it just popped into my head.
It just, he just brought it up. But so when I said it, I felt dirty. And that's how I know that I don't think listening and reading are the same thing.
yeah.
Because I was like, I lied to that person.
But I don't.
I think it's
To
a different
Ely's
level
point,
of effort.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a different level of effort.
I just don't know why they take
like
a hard
getting-
stance on it.
it's like getting pec implants versus working out.
I definitely read that book. Like, no, just say you listen to it, and that's fine. You could still take in all the info, if not
Yeah,
more.
right.
I'm not saying you're less intelligent. I'm saying you didn't read it. Be like, I ran a mile.
I think I agree with
I
you.
traveled a mile in a car, but I ran it. No, you didn't. You traveled a mile in a car.
Yeah, ultimately what it is, it's less exercise for your brain. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you because I felt guilt when I
Yeah,
said
so
it.
that kind of tells you.
That told me, because I didn't know where I stood on this.
I don't
and
know.
then
That could be cultural guilt. That doesn't necessarily mean that the guilt's from knowing that it's worse.
well,
I just
reading
know
is
that in my mind, that must be where I stand because I felt guilty because I was like, I didn't.
we're changing words. We're changing the meaning of words across our society, and we're changing the meaning of things like read. Read is a you can look that up, and it'll tell you. Like, it doesn't mention
Well, let's
audiobooks.
change the medium. Math by hand versus math with a calculator.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I still did the math.
Yeah.
If I
it's
understood
entirely
how to do
plausible,
it-
though, that in 10 years, no kids are required to read Charlotte's
That's
Web.
very yes. That's
They
true.
just need to listen to
Yes.
it and then write a story about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if you can't,
But they're going to still need to be able to
write
read.
if you
Yeah,
can't read.
exactly. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
why to me reading. I make my kids read. I don't make them listen to audiobooks. It's like pick a book up or pick a magazine up or pick something up and physically read something.
Yeah.
Just a thought I had pop into my head because I heard another podcast bitching about it, and I was like,
Oh, you heard it. You didn't read the podcast?
"Oh yeah, imagine
Fucking
that!"
liar.
And I'm just yelling at my phone the whole time, going, "You wouldn't allow your child to say they read something if they listened to it." Like, to me, that's the argument.
I have a tough time with the whole, like, and I'm not speaking specifically to the read thing because I agree with you, but like we've talked many times, like just pushing kids to do things the way that we used to do them. I think we do a lot of that.
What's an example?
Long math. Long division.
Because I don't push anything. Like, my kids go to school and whatever they learn, I don't question it because I assume the teachers know way more than I ever
Like,
will.
Well, I think long division's a good example. They have this new math, and then there's long division, and I think long division actually helps you learn it more.
See, I would never say that.
It just
I don't know. I could probably do neither at this point
I've
in
had
my
to
life,
teach
so
two
why would
kids
I
how to do math.
argue?
And like by teaching them long division, they both went, I get it. And then we're able to backfeed into like how the teacher wanted them
Yeah.
to do it. But it was going through the steps of long division that allowed them to understand what they were doing on the other side.
I think phones and personal interaction is part of what I'm talking about in that while
Oh, we think they still need to have all the personal interactions, and
Yes.
because we value it,
Yes.
but they will not.
yes,
it will not be
absolutely.
a big.
Even though I'm not saying we shouldn't value it because I do think
Yeah.
we do, but we're kind of forcing. We have this vision of the world where you're shaking everyone's hand and talking to them, and in reality, in 30 years, that could be nothing. There
You
could be
could
none
never
of
do that again,
Right?
yeah. No, you're
like
right.
everything is done through the virtual attendant that's talking to you, and being able to know how to navigate your phone and your pad
Would be better
has
served,
value.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you'd be the idiot.
Yes,
'Cause now you don't
exactly.
understand.
The phone is a great example. Whereas
Look at
like
Ely over here shaking this dude's hand like a schmuck.
yeah, like 10 years ago, I was like, why would my kid ever need a cell phone? Well, now it's like if you don't have one, you're ostracized. You don't know how to get it. You can't do half of the things that your other friends do. And it's a fine line because you do want them to have those abilities that we had.
Well, in security, like the main reason I wanted my kid to have a phone was just to be able to keep tabs on them.
Right. But
Where my parents were like, "Get the fuck out of
Like
here!"
reading
See you
a
tomorrow."
map. Reading a map.
Yeah.
I've seen it two different ways. Like my friend, my nephew.
Yeah.
They gave him an iPad when he was like 3.
Yeah.
By the time he was 6, he was teaching me how fracking engineering worked.
Right.
He watched
Yeah.
YouTube videos.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
but
go.
then my friends' kids, they were addicted to video games.
yes.
Yes,
And they are socially awkward.
Absolutely.
Like they are so like there's
I'm
something in
100%.
between.
huge anti-video
Yes,
game
totally
guy.
true.
I do not like video games.
And like, I mean, owning the restaurants, right? I see so many parents just they don't teach their kids how to act in public.
Yeah.
They put an iPad in front of them.
Yep.
They're out to dinner, and it's just like, shut up and sit there.
Yeah. And a lot of times that works, and it's easier.
Oh, it works
just to
every
do
time. It works every time.
Yeah,
most
now
of them
they're
will
getting
live their
drugs.
lives just texting people, not calling them, ordering DoorDash, and avoiding people. That's what they're going to do.
Oh, I've got a huge like drama-filled shit going on with my college group of buddies who basically we've turned into teenagers where we text every day multiple times, and half the group is satiated by that. So like, I
They don't
try to
need to hang out.
I try to get a night out. I'm like, hey, let's go to dinner. Couple guys like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't like that place. I don't want to go here. It's like, y'all don't want to physically hang out anymore because you're satiated. Where like when we were kids and up to 30 something years old, it's like if I wanted to see you, I had to see you. It's like when my kids bring home their yearbooks and their friends sign it, they just write their name in it. When we were kids, you would write like, here's my phone number, keep in touch this summer. Because when you didn't see those friends at your last day of school, there was a large group of friends you didn't see again.
Of course.
Now they all have phone numbers and they text all the time. Why do they need to hang out? Like I'm still keeping up with this cat. I text them all the time.
Well, they don't even they visually see them.
Well, that
Like,
too, yeah.
They just, I mean, I don't know if you have, I know you have kids old enough, but they'll just have a person on FaceTime and just lay the phone straight looking at the ceiling.
Look at the ceiling, yeah.
And they're just like on the phone with each other, but it's FaceTime.
Virtual
like they
hang,
live on-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
My
I
kids
don't,
do
I
that.
can't wrap my head around it.
No.
But it's,
My kids have two computers going.
I've learned that
oftentimes.
fighting it, you got to pick your battles because in many ways you're trying to pigeonhole them into a world, like I said, that we grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always wanted every generation does that though. You
For
should
sure.
be more like
Our way was the best way.
yeah, because it's how we came up.
Right.
We assume,
But
that's
we
correct.
need to teach our kids to just have a work ethic. I'm sure James can
Yeah.
speak on that because that's something I think we all see across the workforce where like you can't find young people that want to even work 40 hours a week.
You can't find people our age that want to work 40
Yeah.
hours.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
40 hours.
4-0?
Yeah, 4 hours a week sounds
You
great.
leave the dot out of the middle of that?
Yeah.
and like talking to my
4.0?
friends, like, I mean, I watched my dad get up. He works for AT&T, and I watched my dad get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He'd come home at 9 o'clock at night most nights. I mean, he was very high up in management, but that's what I expected. So when I started working, people were like, "Wait, why are you spending so much time in the office?"
Yeah.
That's what I'm used to.
That's
Yeah.
so fun.
That's
So-
how you
I
work.
think, I think
Angela-
it's from what you were exposed to.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
absolutely is. And we've talked about this before, and Angela and I talked about this today, but this whole, like, we woke up and half the time your parents were already gone to work.
Yeah.
You'd see them again in the evening, whereas our kids are raised, we're there every day,
Yeah.
making lunch, working from home. We're there
Taking them
24/7,
to
and they
this.
have this weird vision of that's the way things are.
Yeah.
Where you're like, are we ruining them because they have these expectations of what work life is?
Yeah.
Well, my
You know what I
biggest
mean?
pet peeve right now with like social media is all these people saying like the passive income streams, build passive income streams, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I'm like,
I don't even
there's
know what that
such-
term means.
There's no such thing as a passive income stream. Like I own rental properties. I have to deal with tenants. I have to fix
Right.
the rental
Yeah, that's not
property.
passive.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as a true passive income stream. But yet everyone's like, oh wait, I could just own 20 rental properties and sit on my ass and make a lot of money.
No, that's not how it works.
Then
Yeah.
your rental properties are going to fall to disrepair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your tenants aren't going to pay you, and
Or you're going to outsource the management part who's going to take so much off the top. There goes your income. So what's the point of it?
yeah. So like, I mean, I fight all these times with like the people going like, well, I'm just going to build a real estate. Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Knock
Go
it
ahead.
out, dude.
You see you'll see how easy it is.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Like,
Yeah.
Originally I'm a silent partner in the restaurants. I've owned Social 52 for 9 years. There's not a single week where I wasn't doing something for it because
Right.
my business partner is the operating partner.
Yeah.
And from the bottom to the top, probably. I'm sure you wash dishes as well as.
That's one of my biggest things is I will not ask anybody to do what I will not do myself. Like Sunday night, my dishwasher called out because he had to spend time with his daughter. He hadn't seen his daughter in 2 months. So he comes in the next day thinking like he's going to get in trouble or whatever. And I was like, dude, if you had just told us,
Yeah,
I would
Right.
come in.
Yeah.
I covered his Sunday night shift
Yeah.
so that it was covered and nobody was pissed off.
Right.
Yep, and that's how you get to
That's
be
a partnership.
successful. I mean,
Well, the best part is all the line cooks came back there. They're like, we would ask to help you, but it looks like you're having fun. I was like, look, I make decisions all day, every day.
Yeah.
I don't have to think back here.
Right,
This is-
exactly.
This is time off for
well,
me.
and Mike
Yeah.
Rowe talks about the type of work where like you see the work. immediately. You get instant gratification. There's this pile of dirty dishes. Now there's a pile of clean dishes. Holy shit. I'm not just moving numbers from one column to another. I'm not just making phone calls.
Yeah.
Look what I started with and look what I did.
I was explaining that to my wife this week. Like, we were painting a room. She was like, oh, that was a pain in the ass. I was like, that was awesome. I was like, look, like we accomplished something.
Yeah.
Right.
This is done.
Yeah.
This looks great. Like, there's a certain amount of pride in that.
Well, it was like the first weekend we opened social. We were slam busy, and the bartenders were like, "Oh crap, our trash cans are full." I was like, "Okay, give me the trash can. I'll take it out." They're like, "Well, no, we will do that. You're the owner." And I'm like,
I'd rather you sling
go
drinks.
fling
You
drinks and
bartend.
make money.
Exactly.
I will take the trash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you make me money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and make yourself money.
Yeah, everybody's going to win. I'll take the trash out.
Yeah. I make this 50-foot run out to the back alley, and we all make more money. Let's do that one.
We can continue
Oh,
making
but I'm the
money.
owner. I'm not going to touch trash.
Right.
Like, that's a shit attitude to have.
That's how you
There's a
don't
lot-
make money.
There's a lot of people.
Oh,
like
yeah.
But that's how
wow.
you don't.
Yeah.
That's how you're not successful.
Yep.
You sit there and just watch it fall apart instead of just
And you drink.
moving the shit.
and you drink your profits away.
Yeah. And let your friends drink your profits away.
I see far too much of that. Fortunately, you're not doing that.
No.
You're
Yes.
taking an active part.
I'll buy you all one round of drinks when you come do your next podcast.
Exactly.
Exactly.
One.
Yeah. And outside of that, buy your own fucking
That's
drinks
right.
and promote the restaurant.
Yeah.
Tit for tat.
But I will still make the bet about the old fashioned.
Oh, I'm down. I don't have an old fashioned I can put up against it though. Like I don't have.
No, I'm just
one
saying
that
if you don't like it, I'll buy it.
Well, whenever I...
you look like an honest individual.
It's-
You wouldn't lie to me.
I wouldn't. And
Is
I
it the
got,
hair?
It's funny.
Is the hair bugging you, Eli?
Yeah.
James, it's funny you say that about the buying the drinks. Like, when I know someone and you work in construction, like, I've known electricians and handymen, and I'm like, look, I'll pay you to come do some work in my house. All I ask for is you just give me an honest, what's it called? Estimate. Like, I'm not trying to, because we're pals, trying to undercut you. I just don't want to be raked over the coals. So,
Right.
like, I'll gladly pay whatever you think that your time and work is worth. But
Yeah.
people take advantage of that so many
I do
times.
all my business with the plumber when all my plumbing
Yeah.
needs because I know that
Yep.
he's not going to cut
I've had
me
him
a
out many times.
He's not going to cut me a deal,
Yeah.
but he's also not going to screw me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that.
It's a good feeling.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I learned a lot about who my friends were with COVID and the
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Because like people coming in the restaurant and they would get offended, like you're not going to buy me around. Do you understand what just happened to restaurants during COVID?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
if you're my friend, you should be coming in wanting to pay full
Exactly.
price
Yeah.
to
Right.
support.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
So if people listening have friends with businesses, just go support them.
yeah.
Just support
Because they
them.
are having a hell of a time. I don't care what the business is at this point.
And you just
Yeah.
know
Thoughts
they're,
and prayers.
they're not
Thoughts and
going
prayers aren't
to
cutting
they're not going to screw you over. They're going to charge you the right price
Yeah.
and give you a good product.
and when the
that's it.
economy gets better, you might get a hookup.
Yep.
You might, and if you don't, fuck it. You still got the right deal.
But I like
Yeah.
doing it too, right? Like it's fun for me to be able to be like, hey, here's a round of drinks.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy doing that. I have to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you. That's how it should be done. And good, keep the doors open because the listeners need to go to Chart and Social 52. We need to continue going to Chart and Social
Yep.
52. So I want the doors open. If I have to lose that because you gave me a whole night of drinking, well, then that wasn't a very good deal for either of us.
And let's not get satiated with the whole texting bullshit. Like, let's all grab a drink together every now and then and fucking actually hang.
No shit.
That's actually one of the things I was surprised by. It's happened with some of my friends, not all of them though. But like you're talking about is like after COVID, I was like, it is just going to be a madhouse to like coffee shops and all this. Like people like I'm like we used to say it all the time. Oh, we'll catch up for some beers.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, right? And
Yeah.
2 years go by.
Yeah.
Well, after COVID, I was like, okay, it's going to be a madhouse, and then the economy.
Yeah. Well, and I think people just kind of adapted to the new way of living where it's like, well, I guess I don't need to see those people and have beers. Where it's like,
But you
no,
do.
you do. You do.
It's healthy.
And we talked about it, how it kept us mentally sane by
This
getting together.
podcast saved me personally. I mean, I don't know how much it impacted y'all, but like just having an outlet where I could see a face,
Yeah.
have a beer with someone, talk to somebody. It was like, because I tried the whole like, we would do Zoom.
Yeah.
do these
Zoom
things.
hangouts and
And I was like, yeah, but I'm going to bed and I'm still kind of fucking sad.
yeah.
We'd do a podcast and I'd come inside and I'd be like, I'm happy.
Yep.
Genuinely happy. I hung
I
out
mean,
with friends.
When they shut the office down, I called my boss 3 days in. I'm a single, no dependent. I live by myself. Like you'd think I'd be in heaven working from home. I was like, 3 days in, I was like, "You're opening the office, or I'm finding another."
You're like picking at yourself. Like,
give me.
I do like the work from home thing. I got to be honest.
I can't stand it.
I don't need to see work people.
I don't want to be inside the same four walls. Even the four walls of my house, like I can. Go
I get to make my own schedule as to going to the office and not. So it's really enjoyable to be able to go and then
so
be
that's
like,
great
all right,
though. When you're like Wednesday's going to be a busy day. The kids got to be here. I got to do this.
Yep.
I'm going to stay home so I can do those things.
Yeah.
I'll see you Thursday.
Yep.
That's great. I dig that.
But I never get as much done at the office as I do at home. The office is distracting.
Speaking of, I got to go to the office tomorrow. I got to get to work. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. James, thank you again for sitting in with us, man.
Anytime.
If anybody's here in the Richmond area, please check out Chard and Social 52. Depending on where you live, all of them are convenient.
Yeah. We're all around the city.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Literally. Social 52 in the Fan. You got Chard. You have 2 locations, right?
Chard in Hanover on 301, right by Rutland, and Chard down in Swift Creek on Hull Street.
There you go.
Nice.
There's not a spot that's not covered. So check them out for sure. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again. 2 weeks in a row. That's a lot.
Okay. Do it again another time.
We certainly appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to head over to Nectar Sunglasses, you can. You can drop Abacus in the coupon code. You get a reasonably priced sunglass at a 20% discount. That's a pretty good deal. If you haven't gotten your mortgage yet, you can always head over to Screen Door Mortgage. They will help you out with your mortgages. And if you need insurance, head over to Tawa Insurance. They'll take care of you.
That's right. Ryan over there. And follow him for his memes, if nothing else.
He's pretty funny on social media.
For sure.
If you haven't had a chance to check us out on social media, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. And if you have too much discretionary money, again, you should be spending it at Chard and Social 52. But if not, you can send it to us so we can keep keeping boards and beer. That is Venmo.
At Inside the Powerhouse.
There you go. I think we've covered everything. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?